All good now? Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the session.
Oh, yes, ma'am. A very shiny, sunny, and chocolatey morning. How have you been so far?
I have been doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And first of all, I just want to sincerely apologize that I made you to wait for so long. So I'm really uh sorry for that.
Oh, no, ma'am, it's completely fine. I can understand that being a homemaker, then being a tutor, then YouTuber, how difficult it is for you to get time for some co-learners like me who are trying to connect with you for different reasons. But finally, we have connected, and that's literally a very golden opportunity for me that today I got a chance to talk with you. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that you persistently were mailing me and you were always patient there. And yeah, so I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay, so how's been your morning?
Yeah, my morning has been going so well as day has just started, and I'm trying my best in order to make my day productive
Mm-hmm.
and constructive for me. So let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know much about you, so for that reason, can you just give your short introduction?
Yes, sure, ma'am. I would be more than happy to introduce myself. Well, my name is Shiv. I born and raised in India, and my native place is Uttarakhand. By
Mm-hmm.
profession, I'm a central government employee. As far as my academic qualification concerned, I'm done with my Master in English, Master in Commerce,
Mm-hmm.
and this year I'm pursuing my Master in Economics. This is my final year. In addition to this, I do teach English to beginners and intermediate speakers through different online applications as an unofficial English trainer. And I run my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teacher Shiv, where I'm
Mm-hmm.
uploading spoken English content. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, some conversational videos as we are having right now. So that's all from my side in brief.
Wow, impressive. Hmm, great. So you are a central government employee already, and you are training people on different applications, right? And you run a YouTube channel, and great. Okay. What are your pride and joy? What do you do in your free time?
Well, to be very honest with you, ma'am, I don't have any hobbies. I don't
Already
have any
you are doing a
interest.
lot of things.
I don't even,
Hmm.
I don't have any social media application that I can use in order to spend my time. The only thing which I have in my life that is English. I just want to speak English fluently as you speak, and that
Mhm.
made me to connect with you because I just want to know those tips and tricks, the secrets which you have, where you have applied in your journey of learning this language, and that's how you became an impeccable and eloquent speaker. That's all.
Thank you so much for appreciating. But I think I have watched some of your videos with other co-learners or on other different YouTube channels, and I think you have already the great accent and command over advanced vocabulary. You know how to use the words properly in the proper context, which I admire, and I don't have that. So how can you say that you want to have want to get the tips and tricks from me? I think I should today. I should learn from you a lot. Okay. So do I need to give my introduction too?
Yes, though I know about you, but still I want to know a little more about you. So it would be good for me if you give your introduction.
Hmm. So hello Shiv, I am Rajni Verma from Shri Ganganagar. I born and brought up only here for my study purpose. I was at some places like Jharkhand, Delhi, and I have done my graduation in Korean language. And after that, I didn't do anything, not even masters, not even PhD or anything. I didn't pursue, and Currently, I run a YouTube channel and I also teach, like kind of a freelancing you can call, on my own. And I love reading books. This is like one of the favorite hobbies I have, which is reading books and talking to people. And apart from that, yeah, that's it, I guess.
Oh, that's really a very great introduction from your side. I'm being overwhelmed and mesmerized. At the same time, I just want to confirm, I think you have done a graduation from Korean language from GNU University, New Delhi, if I'm not wrong, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's really impressive. And now you are like master in English as well. So in this way, like I think you have master in full language and you are about to become a polyglot. It's just so
I this word sounds great to me. Like it fascinates me, polyglot, and I don't know why. Sometimes, like I am a strong believer of the universe. So a few times when I think of this word polyglot, then I get some or the other videos on YouTube of polyglots and how they are sharing that, how they became polyglots, how somebody can become. And then that thought, you know, inspires me to learn a few other languages too, like any Japanese or Spanish or any other language. Sometimes I think, but unfortunately, I don't get much free time now because I have to focus on the career too. I have to focus on the learning like in this particular field in order to teach others. I need to be good enough so I can actually, you know, help others. For that reason, I don't get much time, but still, I'll think of it like to learn other languages again.
yeah, for sure. You have that potential and you can say eligibility that you can do it. And very soon you are about to become a polyglot. I know that. In addition to this, since I'm fond of your simplicity, the way you speak English in a very simple and effortless. So I just want to know from your side, like, how did you start learning this language and what are the tips and tricks you have that a beginner can follow in order to get hold and command in this language?
Hmm. For a beginner, I must say, like I throughout this journey I have observed now many people, they just say two to three things to themselves, like I want to learn English or I need to learn English, and let's start learning the words and start watching some random videos, or maybe getting ideas from YouTube videos. And if some people are suggesting some things like do read 15 minutes a day, listen to this, learn words, they just blindly start following, and they end up I think doing it for just 3 to 4 days, or maybe highest for 1 week. But I think as a beginner, first you cannot blindly just take others advices or others method that worked for themselves. So I think first the observe themselves, like what are the things, what are the level they have, or how much English they understand already. If they are totally beginner, or if they do understand a bit, like Indians or whatever the country they are from. And then if they are able to even understand natives also, like first understand the level and then find the method that works better for them. Like in my case, listening was the one which helped me to understand people better and made me a bit good at English, which is listening. Later, it was reading. That now also I love a lot reading. So I think for beginners, first focus on the understanding part. That is base. If you don't understand, you cannot even, you know, get others' point of view, others' ideas, what they are saying, and at the same time, you will not be able to uh, you know give the proper responses or construct it properly, like what you need to say there, if you're not able to understand. So maybe the basic and understanding is the first thing to focus upon. Not immediately start speaking if you don't have that command over. If you know a bit, you can speak. Only fear is there, then I must say that face the fear and go ahead and just speak, no matter how many mistakes you make. But if you're not able to speak, then focus first on the understanding part, which I think when you listen to people a lot, this is I think was my way to do it. So if somebody is not able to understand, then they can take help of the other language too, like their mother tongue or Hindi, whatever the language they learn later. They one second thing which is important, that is thinking in English. Otherwise, again, that hinders the progress or the fluency of the learner, of the speaker. Like if they are translating into other languages to English, then it is difficult to get the fluency. So maybe thinking in English, this is again a process which takes time. So when you listen a lot, your mind starts thinking automatically in English. So these are the two basic things: first, understanding and thinking in English. Later, words come out from your mouth when you open it actually. So again, the most important thing is that start speaking. I am not sure that I'm able to answer it properly, but I tried.
Well, ma'am, you hit nail on the head. I mean to say, I'm being mesmerized and spellbounded the way you have answered my question. And I would say you are the biggest epitome of proving this statement, the quotation which we have been listening so long, that before be a good speaker, one must be a good listener first. And you
Hmm.
certified it so well. That's how you became an proficient and advanced speaker of English. Thanks for replying. And moreover, as I have watched your so many videos, so there I have heard that you teach English. I want
Hmm.
to know from your side, like start teaching to someone. What are the strategies you follow in order to teach English? Like how do you start when it comes to a beginner or intermediate level speaker?
Hmm. Okay. How do I start teaching? Basically, I don't focus on the subject part. That is clear. Like I made everyone clear that I'm not going to teach you the subject. It means I'm not going to teach you the grammar patterns, because I'm not very fond of grammar patterns. I haven't learned them separately ever. I have learned the grammar, whole grammar, through listening and reading. Now I can say I do the writing practice, so that is helping me. So I'm not fond of. I don't like even grammar patterns, like mugging up the grammar patterns, even discussing the grammar patterns. I don't know why. So that is clear that I'm not going to focus on those things. But while having conversations on different topics, while talking to the student, if somebody makes any mistake in a particular pattern or in a particular tense, then I let them know, like, this is the particular area you need to focus upon more, or put a little extra effort into it. But the way I do is like a kind of a conversation, kind of a speaking practice, where I conduct some activities where I give a very few random common words, and I ask them to think properly, like construct a story, so they go into the practice of thinking in the session itself. So I give them 2 minutes to just think, gather, or you can say muster your thoughts, whatever you know about it, whatever you can construct using these simple words. So that is one practice I do in my sessions, which is thinking, because I mostly emphasize on the this practice also, like thinking in English. Second, I tell them, like, whatever or how many mistakes you make, without thinking of that, you have to just speak. Many a times I get people who are not that much weak in English, but they do not speak at length. Like they speak for 1 minute and they stop because of the fear, and because they have the doubt that okay, they will make mistake, or maybe I'll judge them, or maybe I'll laugh at them. So I just first motivate them to not think of this thing, and just whatever comes, or no matter how many mistakes they make, just they have to speak at length. Sometimes people stop right there, and I have to push them a lot. Like I have to tell them, "No, I'm here, I'm sitting here, no matter how many times you're going to take, but you have to speak today." Like this, I because in every session I'm not going to give the lectures. You are not here to listen to me, my lectures. No. This is not anymore the lecture kind of thing, always giving, okay, do this, do that, this will happen. No. Only things will happen when you open your mouth. So I just make them
True.
speak. Sometimes I become a little strict too, towards my students. Like, I feel it's my responsibility. Otherwise, they will take it lightly, and they have paid. So it is my responsibility to, like, initially I don't become like, if I'm saying to my student that do this, do that, if they are not doing again and again, again and again, then in the session itself, I make them to do it. So this is how, and I bring different topics, I bring different situations where they can feel a little uncomfortable, but then they try to face the fear. Like, this is my mantra always, to face the fear, whatever it is. And that I apply in my sessions too.
Wow, that's really amazing and incredible. The way you have organized your thoughts in order to answer my question. I'm being delighted. At the same time, I would say two things that I have noticed, which you have emphasized a lot. First thing, that is think in English, and
Hmm.
second thing, that is understanding. You need to
Yeah.
understand that I'm learning this language, what is the purpose I have in my life, and I
Hmm.
need to train myself at the same time, my brain, in order to think about English because I do follow the same rule, consumption and production. The more I consume English, the more I can produce.
Hmm.
The more I feed my brain with English, the more I can speak. And that's true.
Yeah.
So, yes, ma'am, I do have some questions. But before that, if you have anything to ask me, please feel free to ask.
Hmm. I just want to ask you that I observed in your videos, like, you have a different kind of accent. So I want to know, like, how did you incorporate this?
Oh, that's a very good question. And I would say, ma'am, the way you have learned this language, I have
Hmm.
learned in a very different way because I
Hmm.
did my schooling from Hindi medium school. And when I started learning this language, I was such a terrible and horrible speaker of English. And that's why people used to make fun of me. They used to criticize me. They used to humiliate me a lot. But I took that humiliation as a challenge. I took it in a positive and constructive way. And
Hmm.
I started doing hard work in order to improvise my spoken English. Since this thought came to my mind, I started using one application. The name of that application is Hello. There I've
Hmm.
talked with many native speakers around the world. And in my initial days, I couldn't understand them just because of their different accent. But as soon as I started watching videos on YouTube of native speakers, I came to know about their accent. And I started
Hmm.
interacting with them a lot. So, as
Okay.
you know very well, environment plays a very imperative and indispensable role in one's
Hmm.
behavior and personality. Same thing happened with me. I got a bit influence of their accent on my spoken English. So my accent
Hmm.
is kind of not pure Indian, not even American, not British. It's kind of amalgamation of three different accents, and I
Hmm.
have inculcated it myself as a neutral accent.
Hmm.
Second thing, last year I decided to work upon my pronunciation because my pronunciation was too weird and eccentric. I myself feel so bad about it. I
Hmm.
started doing IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, where I deal with 24 sounds, 20 vowel, and 24 consonant. And I started in practice. And
Hmm.
just because of that, my way of speaking, the tonality, the pitch, and the way I do produce sound becomes a little bit different the way normal Indian speakers speak English. But I always give preference to my pronunciation, which means whenever I'm speaking English, I must be understandable to the speaker when I'm talking. Then only it makes sense. Otherwise, there is no use of learning this language. That's all.
Hmm. Absolutely. It is like two-way communication where you are not just speaking for yourself. While you are speaking, you are not going to listen to yourself like in public. In general, if you're practicing at home, it's a different
True.
thing. But you are learning the language or any language you speak for the others who are listening to you, right? And in that particular language, if your audience is not able to understand you, then there is no meaning of learning or knowing the language. Yeah. And yes. I appreciate your accent a lot. And I'm not actually the very much fond of the accents, but sometimes the British or American both accents, like when you listen to people like not exactly the natives, I listen to natives for the clarity of the words. Like every word they pronounce, the I want to get the clarity of each word. The we can say the pronunciation, the right pronunciation. And I have heard many Indians have the habit of emphasizing on certain words which we should not. I think I also have the habit of emphasizing more on those letters. For that reason, I listen to native speakers and I do the shadowing practice. But I think I'm not able to get the accent properly. But I'm happy and I'm content with my own accent. Whenever I listen to even myself, I enjoy my voice. I enjoy the way I speak, so I don't have that much of the, we can say, desire to get the different accent. But when I listen to Indians who have the British or American accent, like Shraddha Kapoor, she is able to speak in American accent, in British accent. She doesn't usually, because like we are Indian, so we have to communicate with Indians, so we keep our own accent, right? But some shows she was forced to show speak in different accents and show. So that there I got even the difference between the accents, and that was something interesting. So then I started loving the different accents too. And when now as I meet many random new people, so now it's like I am every single day I listen to some different accents. So it is great. Yeah, any other question you have that you want to ask?
Since you started talking about accent, so I do have one query in my mind that I want to put forward. What do you think? What are the difference between accent and pronunciation? Which one
Mm,
is more important for you and why?
mm, Difference between accent and pronunciation. Pronunciation is the clarity, and I think the accent is the way you speak, like the tone you use. I'm not sure exactly about the accent, but pronunciation is the clarity of each word, each letter. When you speak, it should be clear. It should not be like you should know where to emphasize more and which word you should speak softly. So I'm much fond of the pronunciation, not accent. Yes, I think I answered your question. What was
True,
the
man.
second one?
Yeah.
I follow the accent or the
Oh,
pronunciation. Pronunciation, yes.
yeah. Wow, that's really great. And I can see eye to eye its statement, and I'm on the same boat as you are, because the pronunciation is universal. And what is pronunciation? Pronunciation is nothing but the way you pronounce one single word with the
Hmm.
help of its syllabic rule. That's pronunciation. And when it comes to accent, it is the way you pronounce the whole sentence in your
Hmm.
own style,
Hmm.
depending on the culture you hail from, your origin, and
Hmm.
the way, the nationality as well. So that's, and I truly believe that yes, accent is not that much important as important pronunciation. Because if you know the correct pronunciation of word, anyone can understand you in the same way as you want to make him understand, no matter
Hmm.
from which part of globe he or she belongs to.
Hmm.
True.
Yes.
And second thing, ma'am, I just want to know, since I started learning this language, grammar is being a controversial topic for me. Like it's kind
Hmm.
of conflict.
Hmm.
What do you think about grammar? If anyone wants to learn English, so grammar is important or not? What do you think?
First, that is grammar important. So yes, it is. But I'm not in the favor of learning grammar separately. That's my personal opinion or personal choice. I don't know about others. And I think it should be decided by everyone's different perception, how they perceive and how they learn, how they love learning the language. That also depends. But important, yes, it is important. Without knowing grammar, you will not be able to explain or really demonstrate your ideas fluently, confidently, and correctly. So, but I think the ways of learning grammar differs according to the level, environment, and the own interest of learning the language. So many people I know, like there are two kind of categories of the learners. One who they say like they love the language since their childhood, or maybe since their school days, or maybe whenever they heard somebody speaking English, they just loved that, and the love towards the language made them to learn. Like for me also, it was the love, it was the interest that made me to just keep going. Like it's been 2 years now that I've been learning continuously, and I don't feel bored at all. Like it is, I can do 24 hours. I can read, listen, speak. I can do always. I can watch movies in English, listening to songs in English. I can do everything in English. I don't have any issue. But people who have the kind of need, like I need to, because I need to crack an interview. I need to learn the language because I have to present myself in front of my boss or in the meeting, or I have to give the presentation and all that. There it becomes difficult, monotonous, and those people go with the even orthodox methods. They follow those methods. People who love, they don't follow the orthodox. I think, I believe, and I have observed. They simply say, I love listening to people. I watch podcasts. I listen to people. And then I read a lot. Then I write sometimes down my thoughts, ideas, and all that. I talk to people and I record myself. All these things they do. People who enjoy the journey or love the language. On the other hand, people who don't enjoy, that's there's just a need, they go with they, because they go on Google or YouTube or everywhere, they just find the way. Give me the right way to learn the language in 30 days, in 90 days, and the best tip to learn, and all these things stuff. People they search majorly, and then they pick 2 to 3 tips, tricks, start following, like learning words, doing all these things, whatever the rubbish. I don't follow that, learning grammar patterns and all. Then they feel frustrated and they end up doing nothing. Like they quit this journey in between. So it is like different ways of learning, and depends on the interest, depends on the requirement also. So yes, but grammar is definitely imperative to speak English, like error free. If you want to speak error free English, you should have the great command over the grammar. But your methods definitely differs. It's you are responsible to find the way how your mind can grab it properly. I hope I answered the question.
Wow, that's really great. So, in nutshell, you wanted to conclude in this way that it depends on the purpose of individual, how much grammar is required, and why he's
Hmm.
learning this language, and accordingly he has to indulge himself into that grammar. Right.
Hmm.
And one more question, ma'am. I hope you have encountered with many people. They are super excited to master this language. They
Hmm.
have been putting a lot of effort to get hold in this language.
Hmm.
But just because of fear of making mistakes, fear of
Hmm.
being judged by people, they are not that much confident in order to take their first step in order to cover the journey of being fluent in this language.
Hmm.
So, how do you motivate these kind of people?
For fear, there isn't any motivation. Motivation come from within. See, one of my friends, college friend, who said that who listens to native speakers even, and everything he listens to in English, but he has the fear, and he said like, how did you do? And I said, watch my initial videos. I used to make a lot of mistakes. If I thought that okay, I'm making mistake and people would laugh at me, I wouldn't have achieved this level. You have to accept it. You have to face the reality. You cannot escape from this. You have resources, grab it. If people are laughing at you, let them laugh for some time. Later they will come to you and will ask you that what are the tips and tricks do you use to become that fluent in English. So I think for fear there isn't any alternative, just face it. Because you cannot change people's mindset. You cannot change people. You will go there, you will speak, you will make mistake and people will laugh. That's true. That's the harsh reality. They will laugh. Can you change that? You can change yourself only. This is the
No.
one thing that you have in your hand, yourself. If you want to, you know, make a dent, if you want to show them like today you are laughing and tomorrow you will ask me the same question, how did I do? What you can do only in those two things, you are the only person who is standing there, can change the entire scenario. Yeah, so this is kind of a mindset, I guess.
Mm,
In reality, true thing I believe is that face the fear. That's what I believe.
wow, that's really great. Yeah, it means you have shared that you need to trust on yourself. Your strong self-belief system, your strong willpower, right approach of learning things, growth mindset, and wishing to have a growth in your life will allow you to being
Hmm.
fluent in order to anything, whatever you want